Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Jack Weinberger and Robert Ziggy Ziegler, back at the University of Virginia for a limited time now with Ziggy at the University of Virginia. We're going to have to start saying up in Boston, or maybe we say out at Harvard. Like,
clock's ticking.
I'm not sure. I leave it to you to figure it out. You're the host.
Yeah, usually something will just roll off the tongue, and it becomes sort of just something that we get into for each episode. So it could be interesting while we record this. There's some pretty big storms up here in New Jersey. Whenever we log on, it seems that Ziggy says, hey, having some horrible thunderstorms down in Virginia. Like, Ziggy talks about these storms like they're biblical, essentially. And every now and then, Ziggy has his bad Wi-Fi to begin with, but the storms never help. So we'll see. Apparently, there's also a storm at Virginia, of course. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, it's earlier today, there were cars that were stranded.
What?
Well, it's just another day in Charlottesville, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, we get flash floods all the time out here. It is what it is.
Wait, you mean like people just getting out of their cars and running? Like,
I mean, they couldn't drive because there was too much water on the road.
Where do you live, man?
I mean, we're getting,
you know what?
Flash flood warnings up here.
You know what, though? I have been to Virginia. I toured Virginia a long time ago. That was really a beautiful campus, and it is extremely hilly. I could see how, do you live like on the bottom of a hill or something?
No. Well, they didn't say it near me. I don't live at the bottom of a hill, but other people do.
Well, I don't. I was assuming the cars that you said people abandoned were outside your window or something.
No. Why would you think that?
So
I just pointed out that it happened near me.
Do you have someone reporting people are abandoning their cars? Like,
yeah, it was on the local news.
What the hell is good? All right.
If we were to lose Ziggy,
I don't know what you want from me, man.
If we were to lose Ziggy, you guys know why. It's because of the storms in both areas.
Yeah, it could be his and or ours.
Testimony. Yeah, like, you got to let me do my thing.
Yeah, I'll let you do your thing. So we'll see what happens. I actually, funny enough, this has come up a few times on the show, but I actually do have a fear of lightning. Not thunder, lightning. Now, I guess if I hear thunder, I get a little uncomfortable because that is the signal of lightning.
Well, lightning could kill a man.
But yeah, thunder, I think it's a very reasonable fear.
Thunder can't. It's just a sound.
You're outside.
Lightning
bolt of electricity, fairly unpredictable where it will go. I don't like that. I don't like being outside when there's a bolt coming from the sky that could hit my head. That's just uncomfortable to me.
As long as I'm outside with somebody who's like taller than me, I'm all right.
But that's usually I'm the tallest person that I'm around.
If anybody gets struck, it's them, not me.
Yeah. So I guess I wouldn't like being down in Virginia. I'm not a big fan of these huge storms. So you could also, in addition to us losing power, you could see me jump up and have to start, shutting windows and things because it's a flash flood warning. This basement has flooded.
We got thunder coming outside right now.
In Florida, there were 3 people who were struck by one bolt of lightning. So being near someone taller won't necessarily save you.
No, if you're like on the beach or something and it hits the sand, like it's a golf course, so yeah, it's hard. Not a good thing, lightning.
Lightning would
bounce. Cool.
Lightning would bounce off me. I would strike the lightning.
Yeah, what do you like, rubber?
Yeah, I would strike the lightning.
Absorb it?
Yes.
All right. So today's episode, and this is a good episode for us to do every year. It's going to be essentially a 2-parter. Today will be the AFC. Tomorrow will be the NFC. So we'll see. With most of our audience being NFC North fans, hopefully
this will be
hopefully we get some good viewership here, or acceptable viewership. But we're going to do a little training camp preview essentially, and we're going to bounce around quick firing on each team, all 16 teams in the AFC. It's very helpful for us because with so much of our attention on the North teams, and we look at the Steelers too and the big dogs. This allows us to kind of get a feel for everyone going into the season, going into training camp, which is, to me, the start of the season is going to happen this week as teams kick off their training camps. Next week, we'll do our season predictions. So we won't be predicting records this week. That'll be a week from now. Today's kind of just addressing the biggest questions that each team is facing heading into their training camps. And, it's fun going through because you forget 32 teams is a lot of teams. Like, there's a lot of teams to report on in the NFL. And when we spend so much time on like 10, you can lose the bigger picture. Sorry, Ziggy, you looked like you were going to say something.
Yeah, like 28 or 29 of these teams have an interesting story going into this year.
No, most of them do. So we'll bounce around here, and this will be a chaotic episode, but we'll enjoy it. We'll have some fun doing it. So does anyone have anything they want to get off their chest before we dive into the AFC East? Is there anything?
I'm ready to dive.
Great. Ziggy?
You seen the new Superman movie?
Oh, I did, actually. I saw it yesterday.
I do want to see that. It
was awesome. It was, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it was certainly...
It was a solid 2.5 to 3 out of 5.
I thought you were going to say out of 10.
I thought you were going to say... Ziggy's a harsh critic. I would give it... I see, my baseline is a 7's a good movie. And anything below a 7, I'm like, I would say it's like a 7.5.
I do want to see that movie.
Yeah, I would say it's like 7.
I think we actually agree, Paul, on how good it is. I think it's just barely worth going to see.
But yeah, it was very fun, and it certainly has, James Gunn being the director, the former Guardians of the Galaxy
Which is
director.
too bad, but
Say again?
which is too bad, but you take what
But there's
get.
definitely a Marvel feel to this movie, and there's one scene in particular. You'll know it when you see it. That is just quintessential Guardians of the Galaxy. It almost felt like kind of an FU to Marvel, if you know what I'm talking about, Ziggy.
Yeah.
So
no,
I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And we'll see what DC does from here. That'll be, the thing with Marvel when they started this was it took 5 years from the 2007 Iron Man to 2012 Avengers. That's a lot of story building. And DC, it feels like they keep trying to just force everything. So if they're actually going to try and build out a world here, it takes a little bit of patience. You need to make people care about the characters before just saying like, oh, here's Superman and here's the 5th Batman and here's someone you've never seen before in the Flash, and what the hell was the other guy's name? The robot from Justice League. Who's that dude? Cyborg. Yeah, sorry. I should know Cyborg.
I wonder what the cyborg character was named. Can anybody tell me?
But that's what I mean. If it's named Cyborg, I didn't know. That's a bad job developing the character from DC.
I want to see Smurfs. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
So this actually answers a question.
I love this.
I know we're off topic, but like I'm with my dad at the movie theater. We saw F1 and IMAX, and like I saw a sign for the Smurfs. And I turned to myself, like, people talk about IP that's been milked to death. People say they put out too much Star Wars, they put out too much Marvel. But I wondered, like, who is the Smurfs movie possibly for? Like, who wants another Smurfs movie? I didn't know there was such a person.
I just answered your question.
It's Jack, and you've always had a little thing for Smurfette.
Oh yeah, Smurfette's cute.
Okay, we're moving on. We're talking football. Wait,
Ziggy,
football.
let me just check real quick. Is your microphone? Do you have the right microphone on right now? It sounds a little hollow, so to say.
Yeah, I've got the shirt.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. All right, now I think you've lost your.
There's no voice.
There you got to plug it in again now.
Plug it in, Zig.
Oh, it is plugged
there we
in.
go.
There we go. Now you sound a little bit better. We'll leave that in. You can see the
Smurfette's
line.
got the long blonde hair. It's flowing. It's
blue.
Blonde.
You like the color? No, blue. She's blue.
She's blue. Yeah, she's a cute little character.
One other preview I saw that I can't imagine who's going to see this movie, and I sort of have established a vendetta against this character that I don't mean to, but the Cat in the Hat is just a weird motherfucker. Like, he is a weird dude. I've said this before. We had our company, like the 1 year anniversary of our company. We did like a Takesgiving around Thanksgiving, and my take was the Cat in the Hat should be doing like 10 to 15 in prison for child endangerment and just a bunch of real other crimes. I think he's a weird fellow, the Cat in the Hat. And I hate the Michael Myers live action. Like, any Dr. Seuss character should not be live action. Something just rubs me the wrong. Like, remember Ziggy? Ziggy used to host Bad Movie Monday and Carol, I walked out of the Cat in the Hat angry.
I think the cat is a comforting character.
I don't know. No, he's.
No, you can't be comforted by the Cat in the Hat. That doesn't.
I don't know. I don't like. I like Thing 1 and Thing 2 actually, but the Cat in the Hat, I want to like him because I love the cover. It's like a cool cover. The Cat in the Hat. How could you not like it? But no, something rubs me the wrong way with this dude.
That's fair. I mean, I can't argue that.
He's a freak.
Dr. Seuss is a freak.
I love The Grinch though. The Grinch is one of my probably my favorite Christmas movie. All right, the cartoon. All right, let's get into this here. Ziggy, nice job derailing the show. This is when we're going to get those comments that are like 7 minutes in and still no football talk.
I'm usually not the one who derails the show. That's sort of new.
Now let's do the Packers.
Here's Jack. Now let's do the Packers and we'll go.
That's really the Packers training camp.
We'll start with the AFC East. The question that we're going to go with is, did the Bills do enough around Josh Allen to improve the roster? Now, a lot of the biggest moves for Buffalo this free agency, and these are going to we'll try and keep it to like 2 to 4 minutes, somewhere around there. 2 to 3 minutes. The biggest moves for them were a lot of extensions. Like extending Josh Allen was the big one. They extend Khalil Shakir. They did bring in Josh Palmer. That's like their big, that's their prize at wide receiver there.
And Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore. They brought in Joey Bosa. So there were some moves from Buffalo, but there was nothing that actually jumped out in terms of, okay, they've gotten substantially better now in their pursuit of Kansas City. I don't think they necessarily need to get a lot better. They're right there with the Chiefs. We said the same thing about the Ravens. Both these teams, it comes down to a couple plays once a year, whether or not they're going to go to the Super Bowl or not. So Ziggy, I know you said that you had a strong opinion on the Buffalo receiving room, so go ahead.
The Bills are a team, I'll just say, if they need to get better, like the Lions last year, they had so many injuries going into that Chiefs game. It was tough. But looking at this Bills wide receiver, you got like Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore, Laviska Shenault, Curtis Samuel. When I think of like what situation does this remind me of, I have a sort of weird comparison that I think sort of fits, though. This feels a lot like what the Green Bay Packers have been going through the past few years. Now, obviously, it's not exactly the same, but you have a room that's full of young players, many of whom people have said for years should be breaking out, and you sort of need one or two of them to do it, but it's never actually happened. I mean, Khalil Shakir, solid player, 25. Elijah Moore, solid player, 25. Josh Palmer, solid player, 25. But you got a lot of guys who are either on like the last year of a rookie deal or just entering an extension or a new deal. And you need one of them to show up. I think after last year, it's probably not going to be Keon Coleman. But Josh Allen with a wide receiver one, we saw what Stephon Diggs was able to do for that room in that offense. Even if you think Allen and Cook are incredible, which they are, this team desperately needs a target outside of their tight ends. So it feels like this year we're just playing the waiting game to see which Bills wide receiver, if any, will actually take the step forward and take over the room.
I think Josh Allen is so good where, to me, and last year shows this, I don't believe the Bills need a Stephon Diggs like guy. Like, you have a superstar quarterback, a bunch of decent receivers. I don't believe offense is the problem, but beating Kansas City, and there's now a blueprint for it, is just to get those stops. I don't think it's Josh Allen
after Mahomes.
Like, I don't think it's Josh Allen's side of the ball. I don't think it's the offense. I think Josh Allen, being as a beast that he is, and have a bunch of decent receivers can get the job done offensively. I mean, they're the AFC chip without Stephon Diggs. And for me, it's getting to the backfield, get some stops, and stop Patrick Mahomes. I think that Buffalo, though, currently is good enough to do so. Like, this roster is good enough to win a Super Bowl. They just haven't done it. They haven't gotten those one or two
the
stops.
Eagles put up 40 in the Super Bowl, though.
Well, I think
how much of that is they killed Mahomes?
Well, they had the two interceptions ended the game.
Yeah.
They got right in his face twice. Well, we've seen this now against the Chiefs, right? What's their weakness? And we'll get to this later with Kansas City, but when you get after Mahomes, particularly when we've seen in the Super Bowl,
the Bills' offense is fine.
That was Brady too. Remember when the Giants beat him? Strahan was living in the backfield that whole game. So obviously these guys are legendary quarterbacks, but everyone is going to struggle when you have massive defensive linemen coming down at you. So we'll see. Maybe Joey Bosa can provide a spark. He's just hurt all the time. They brought in Rousseau. So who do you think is a better chance of breaking out for them between Keon Coleman and your guy Kincaid? If you were to pick one of the two to really establish themselves as a primary receiving option,
Kincaid
after Shakir.
Kincaid. Kincaid. Josh Allen's a tight ends guy. There's a lot of receivers in the room, but I'd say Kincaid.
Kincaid. Would you agree, Ziggy? Would you concur
Probably.
on Kincaid?
Receivers like Keon Coleman, profile-wise, are very rarely successful in the NFL. He did not do much last year to convince me otherwise. I still like Kincaid.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on to the Miami Dolphins here, who have been in the news a lot. Hey, that's one of your better sounds right there for the Dolphins. Do you think that the Miami Dolphins playoffs hopes, particularly as we said over the past few weeks with some of the big trades they've been making, have they swam away?
No, but they've leaped away.
Oh, they have?
Yes. I always like it's super cool. I've gone to the beach a few times and you look out on your deck, you like a beach house, you can go on your deck in the morning, have your coffee, your bagels, donuts, whatever. You can see the fins of the dolphins going up and down sometimes in the morning.
It's always fun to see.
It's pretty neat. The playoffs, I don't believe so, because that 7 seed really is up for grabs. Mm-hmm. Like, the Dolphins will be a team who can win 9 games and be competing in week 17 for that last spot. You think of like playoffs being impossible. You think, I don't know who, Cleveland. Like, there's teams out there who won't make the playoffs. I love how just immediately it's like Cleveland, and then you're like, well, everyone else sort of has that's the thing.
An
it's
opportunity
like
here.
A lot of these teams can get that number 7 seed. Like, I do think that Tua is good enough. I know they let go of Rams, but they got Minka, who's not bad. I mean, you still have Jalen Waddle and who's the other? Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. And H-Man, a lot of weapons.
Like, they're talented and skilled. I think Smith is a big loss. I actually do like him. But this is a team who, with Tua and like who he has, it's tough to say the playoff chances are gone.
I
You couldn't see them with the 7th seed in the AFC.
No, I feel like Tua provides a pretty safe floor. A lot of people are coming out here this season saying the Dolphins are just going to suck. And Ziggy, are you one of them? I thought you were one of them.
I'm not high on the Dolphins, but absolutely nothing they did this offseason matters at all. There's only one thing that matters for this Dolphins team. Can Tua stay healthy and play well? Last year, games he didn't play, 13 points a game, 2-4. Games he did play, 6-5, 25 points a game. Now, obviously, 6-5 is not an incredible record, but the difference between 25 points and 13 points is 12 points. It's a lot. They need Tua to be healthy, and if that happens, they have enough for the offense to be effective. If he's not healthy, your team sucks. It is what it is.
They remind me. Sorry, Paul.
No, go for it.
They remind me of kind of what the Steelers have been. It's like Miami can go 9-8, get the 7 seed. I don't think they're getting past that. But they're not.
I've, compared to the Steelers, I trust Tua a lot more than the quarterbacks you've had in there. And I know that Tua is not a superstar, but you guys are playing with.
The Finns couldn't beat. The Finns and the Steelers both could not beat those teams on the road in the playoffs.
No, and that's been the whole problem for Tua. But even last year, Ziggy, I know that you were mentioning the 6-5 record when he played. They really didn't get. They had a couple really bad losses, but they lost by 1 to the Cardinals. They lost by 3 to Buffalo. That was one game where on the road they scored late, and I believe they had a defensive holding, I thought Jordan Poyer had a penalty on a 3rd and 15.
Oh, Tua almost won in the game.
Yeah, no, they should have won the game. That was the one time where he did it. So there were a couple losses in here that were 1-point, 3-point losses. And that's why I'm a little perplexed why people are so down on Miami. I get that the cornerback room, now that you've gotten rid of Jalen Ramsey, is really bare. I mean, you have Minka Fitzpatrick in that secondary, but other than that, that's a very weak secondary. So the defense could be a problem. But I just think that Tua will be, as long as Tua is healthy, as you said, and we're going to assume he's going to stay healthy for the sake of this show. I think that does bring some stability, and you will be competitive. The Dolphins are not going to come out and win 4 games next year. Some people are saying that they think they're a 5-win team. I think that with Tua, if he's healthy all year, at least 8 wins is around there, and that's competing for the 7th
with
seed.
What they have on offense, I don't think teams can come out and often blow out the Dolphins.
But they did. I mean, losing Ramsey, Armstead, and Jonnu Smith, those are big losses.
Yeah, of course.
They didn't get better this offseason. And
they're an average
frankly,
team.
that's what they, to me, they're an average team. All right, the Patriots. We're going to ask, will Mike Vrabel be the right coach for Drake May? And there's actually a lot more that goes into New England because they had a monster offseason. And when I say monster offseason, that doesn't necessarily mean good, but they did a lot. I mean, they brought in, let's go through the list of guys here. Milton Williams, Carlton Davis, Morgan Moses, Stephon Diggs, Harold Landry, Garrett Bradbury, Robert Spillane. Actually, kind of funny on Garrett Bradbury. The Vikings controversial center. I saw some article, or my dad was telling me about some article where Patriots reporters were writing and they made a massive upgrade at center with Garrett Bradbury, and me and my dad went I don't know about that. Bradbury, he has his struggles. He has his moments too, but he has plenty of struggles. So. Of course, bringing in Vrabel and Josh McDaniels returning. So there's a lot going on, a lot to like about the talent infusion that the Patriots have had because it was a bare cupboard there. At the same time, though, a lot of people, if you don't like those players, everyone else is saying, wow, you paid a lot of money because they handed out huge contracts, overpays, pretty much unanimously agreed upon, it seems, overpays to these dudes. But let's get to the question at hand here. We'll go back to you, Ziggy. Mike Vrabel, Drake May. Do you like having the CEO type of coach come in, or would you have rather gone for one of these offensive, wonderkins?
There's a lot that worries me about this Patriots offseason because this feels like a repeat of 2021, where the Patriots brought in tons of free agents, brought in a new look Bill Belichick, had Mac Jones coming in. They're like, this is going to be the year. We're going to snap back into being competitive. And it was an absolute disaster. But look, at the end of the day, if you want a quarterback to develop, the most important thing, it's great to have an offensive genius. It's great to have scheme guys, but they brought Josh McDaniels in, who has been perennially underrated as an innovator for NFL offenses. You can go back and see him using motion. People are saying is brand new in 2007. Mm-hmm. This guy knows what's up. But what you need more than anything is a solid culture and people who can take responsibility for a quarterback, such that the team's not terrible and you have adults in charge. At the end of the day, I am confident. Whatever else I think about Mike Vrabel, I might not like his style of football. I might not think he can win them a lot of games. The Patriots will have competent leadership, which they did not have last year. If Drake May can work with Josh McDaniels, develop a little bit, he's already shown a lot of talent, and just be on a team that's not a dumpster fire. The only team possibly worse than the Patriots last year in that respect were the Bears. This could be a great year for him.
Mm-hmm. Didn't the Pats beat the Bears last year like 6-3 on the road or something like that? Or they killed them.
I had it as my worst Bears loss of the season that game.
The Pats killed them, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a murder. It was not 6-3.
No, I know what you're thinking of, Jack.
They walked into Soldier Field and won, 19-3?
Yeah, yes.
Ramondre Stevenson ran all over them. Drake May carved them up.
That's when
Caleb Williams passed for 100 yards.
Yeah, that's when I came into the show, the reaction show, the happiest man in the world.
Are you thinking of what?
I swear the Bears also
there's another game that you're thinking of that the Bears had.
You're thinking of the Seahawks.
Is that the bait?
The Seahawks was 6-3.
Yes. The Bears had a couple of those duds.
The Patriots on paper obviously have gotten a lot better by the looks of it this offseason. Like this was a decent defense, a dumpster fire offense. But now Stephon Diggs is there. Offensive line's improved a little bit. There's a lot of pressure, and I feel like a lot of expectations here on New England. They're being a little bit overrated in the markets in my eyes.
Yeah, like 8.5 win total.
Like these guys last year, they go 4-13, 4 wins, and now they're favored in more than half of their games this year. Like that's expecting a lot, like a second-year jump from Drake May, is it not there? Dude, like I'm not super high in this Patriots team yet.
Their schedule stinks. Like I'm just looking at it right now. It's pretty bad here. I'm just going to run through.
They have gotten better.
Raiders, Dolphins, Steelers, automatic loss right there. Panthers, Bills, Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Bucks, Jets, Bengals, Giants. Then you have a late bye. Then it's Bills, Ravens, Jets, Dolphins. I mean,
they have 2 automatic losses, the Steelers and the Giants.
Yeah, but I get like 8.5 makes a little more sense when you're talking about the Panthers and the Saints and the Titans and the Browns and the Falcons, and that's all in a row.
I mean, this team has gotten better. Like the offensive line's gotten better, the defense has gotten a little better. Stephon Diggs is now there. Like it has improved.
So, but when you do have these additions that they've made, and you've invested this much money, and you do have a schedule like this, there is a degree of pressure that comes with that too. Because now, if they don't have a decent season, it's like, all right, there could be a bigger problem.
Last year Drake May was. I mean, I think this whole the Pats were set up. There was no way anybody was coming in there and doing a thing with the Pats. I mean, they were a total dumpster fire from the start. But this year there is expectations for him.
But also don't overlook too a couple of their draft picks, Travion Henderson, Will Campbell. Right, they got some nice pieces to add to that offense. So even if they don't have the greatest receiving weapons, and I really don't think between Stephon Diggs, Matt Collins, Demario Douglas, and Hunter Henry. Like I'm not. No one's envying that right now. There are some weapons there. Henderson should be fun. Diggs, you're hoping can get back to relevancy, but I don't know. I'm not in love with the Patriots. I still think that the offense is going to have some growing pains, even if Vrabel helps establish that defense a little bit more and that culture. Any closing thoughts on them, Ziggy, or you want to head on to Ziggy's Jets?
Shut up.
Jets.
Okay,
Jets,
so
Jets.
Shut up.
The Jets, I mean, the big move for them, a couple big moves, is losing Aaron Rodgers, bringing in Justin Fields, setting up that monstrous Week 1 showdown with the Pittsburgh Steelers that maybe more than just Jack will be at. I could see a world where Ziggy and I are at that game. And then hiring Aaron Glenn as the head coach. Do you guys think that the third team here is a charm for Justin Fields? Bears, Steelers, and then will he find the Jets as the place where he can blossom?
I don't believe so. No, I just think this is a bad organization. I mean, somebody like Mike Vrabel in New England, I like the familiar face idea. Aaron Glenn now back. He was a Jet. Now he's coaching the Jets. We just had this conversation 2 seasons ago. Like we were all ready to go. We were sitting here all in on the New York Jets.
I think I had them like second in the conference.
Yeah, and a lot of people did. Look, we were sitting here all on the Jets. The odds were in their favor too. Even I was turned. And they just found a way to jet. Like Justin Fields is not. I like him. I always have. He's not this earth-shattering franchise turner quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's got great legs. Garrett Wilson's good. The defense is a bit overrated in my eyes. I don't see this Jets team winning more than 6-7 games. Like,
I don't know, Jack. Grant Gordon at NFL.com listed Justin Fields as a person who might deliver the Jets their first MVP.
What?
Well, then I'd be wrong.
What?
Okay, more seriously.
Wait, are you serious? There's actually an article.
Well, no, he listed teams. I mean, I want to clickbait here, but I'm going to be honest with him. He listed teams that haven't won an MVP before, and who's the player most likely to bring it to them.
I was going to say I'd be wrong if that's the case. Fields is good.
I'll say this about Justin Fields. I agree with you. Justin Fields is not a good quarterback, but there are two things he can do well. He can throw to his wide receiver one, and he can run with his legs. I mean, his passer rating drops off 27 points going from wide receiver one to not wide receiver one. Like, when he's throwing the ball to Garrett Wilson, this will be an incredible player. And Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson have an incredible history. Mm-hmm. If you can take away Garrett Wilson, this offense will be horrible. But look, here's the thing. A quarterback who can throw reliably to their wide receiver one and move with their legs if they can't. We saw with the Steelers last year of George Pickens. That's a guy who can win you more games than you lose, especially if you give him a solid defense. I don't think, is 9-8 impossible for this Jets team? I don't think so. Now, I don't think Justin Fields is going to have a career renaissance and come in and be like the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But I think this is a guy that you got some reason to believe. And you saw it last year, the Steelers can be effective enough and make few enough mistakes that if Aaron Glenn can do to this defense what Saleh did in his first year of the defense, the Jets team could be a bona fide wild card contender.
I'll tell you right now, that's not happening.
Yeah, but just even watching Fields,
not happening.
Even watching Fields go 4-2 last year, I watched those games and it's like, no, I wasn't that impressed with the guy.
No, they will be ugly wins. Again, he will not look like a good quarterback, but I think Justin Fields has the talent to win you some games.
Yeah, no one's disagreeing with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They're not.
I don't see better than like 7-10, though.
I would be jaw dropped on the floor if they made the wild card.
Me too.
Like, and I like Justin Fields. I'm rooting for him. I think he's a lot of fun to watch. His running is electrifying at times, but yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, he'll have his moments. He might have one or two of those games. Everyone remembers the game against the Commanders in Washington, where he looked like he was going to be. I was actually trying to think in my head the next blank Bears quarterback, but I actually couldn't think of one. Like there is no Bears quarterback. The next, like Jay Cutler on steroids. But no, I just can't see it happening. And I don't think the Jets is the place. There are a lot of quarterbacks where you plug them in to a situation and they can be very good. And maybe Justin Fields would be that if he were in Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell could turn him into something. But the Jets,
don't even think that's true.
Look, if he was on the Vikings, I don't think that we'd be a Super Bowl team or anything, but I think the Vikings could be a wild card team with Justin Fields. The Jets cannot. No offense to the Jets. Like they just need more building. And Aaron Glenn might be the guy to come in and build up that team into what they need to become. But right now, the defense is not what it was a few years ago. And as Ziggy said, beyond Garrett Wilson, there's just not enough there. There's really just not. So it's hard pressed for me to have much faith in the Jets, but Fields, at the very least, should be fun to watch for a few games. And no more to say. The AFC South, and this is kind of weird about the AFC, is I think if you want to predict different division winners every year, you don't just want to be stale. But it is kind of hard to say anyone but the Texans will win. Like you could say the Jaguars could win the AFC South, but really, if you had a gun to your head, everyone's going to pick the Texans. Everyone's going to pick the Bills. Everyone's going to pick the Chiefs, and that's what's kind of weird about this conference. Steelers, of course. So the Texans, we said Houston's uncertain offensive line, and a year after CJ Stroud was sacked 38 times, he was 8th in the NFL. Last year, it jumped up to 52 sacks. He was second in the league beyond insane. Caleb Williams just sacked 68 times. This is not supposed to be a Bears. This is not supposed to turn into like a roast of the Bears. It's just kind of naturally happening. I think the Bears.
This happens a lot.
I think the Bears will have a good year. Like I think the Bears are in good shape. But CJ Stroud.
Don't spoil our next show, Paul.
Yeah, CJ Stroud was sacked 52 times last year, and we've mentioned a couple times now on this show obviously the importance of the offensive line. Look at these teams that are going far right now. They all have really well developed offensive lines. For a young quarterback, that's one of the most important things that you can have. So if we look at Houston heading into this year, their offensive line is going to be Cam Robinson, who struggled quite a bit with the Vikings this past season. They have Laken Tomlinson, who also has had his fair share of issues. You have Jarrett Patterson, Titus Howard, and Blake Fisher. It's still a very shaky room. You bring in Ursary out of Minnesota, who's probably going to be a backup tackle this year. It looks like he's battling Blake Fisher. Notre Dame, great for that spot. But from what I've seen this offseason, I still think there are a lot of questions up front in Houston. And I still think they're the best team in their division. But when it gets playoff time, some of those issues can come to light. Ziggy, I know you've been a believer in the Texans as well over the past couple of years. Do you think that this is something that'll plague them when it matters?
It's tough to know what to do with this Texans team because it feels like this year they're basically running it back and they're exchanging pieces with guys that really aren't obviously better or worse and just hoping that different will be better and things will be back to normal. And you're replacing, as you talked about on the offensive line, you've got a bunch of players coming out. With respect to the offensive coordinator, it's Slowick out, and you've got Nick Caley coming in, who was the Rams tight ends coach. Like, CJ Stroud, I think, is good. I'm happy to hear that he's trying to make himself stronger to avoid injury. Like, I think this team will still be good. But with so many just substitutions without obvious upgrades, I think, unlike what you said, I think there's a real opportunity here for the Jaguars or the Colts to come in and sneak this division. I don't think this Texans team is substantially improved from last year. And unless some of these rookies or second-year players can really show up on the offensive line, I don't think it's going to be much better than below average.
Yeah, you really don't know the value of a good offensive line until you don't have it anymore. And I can tell you that as a Steeler fan through and through. I do believe, though, a lot of this, and I'm not knocking him or criticizing him, but there was a fair amount of times I can recall where I thought it was more so on Stroud and him having to make a bit of adjustments and improve his game as opposed to the offensive line. Like, there were times I felt he held onto the ball way too long. Like, he had ability to get out of things and he couldn't. I just think that comes with getting from the college game to the pro game. He's still just a young kid. I mean, Ohio State, you saw him, he had 10 5-stars running around wide open. And like, that's not the case in the NFL. There was so much less time. And this is Caleb's issue too. Last year with Stroud, there were occasions he could have gotten rid of the football and he didn't. And the receivers were banged up. Like, it was not what the Texans thought was going to be. Mm-hmm. Two of the best receivers were injured. But I'm saying it's not totally the line. A lot of it, in my eyes, was on CJ Stroud as well.
Yeah.
And that just, to me, is getting from the college to the pro game.
I mean, I don't even know if I'm there anymore because he was so good his rookie season. I think he maybe just regressed. Like, I wouldn't compare it to
I think it's still there.
I don't know if I compare it to college anymore, but I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, I'm looking right here that with the game they lost to the Packers was 24-22 and Stroud went 10 for 21 for 86 yards. Like, that's one of those games. And Nico Collins was out where we talk about the elite guys in the AFC. You mentioned it. Josh Allen, the Bills can kind of bank on not having a great wide receiver room because Josh Allen is the offense. The Ravens and the Chiefs we've seen can be okay without studs at that position because you have these one-man machines. Now, it's unfair to say CJ Stroud needs to be on that level because we're talking about three of the greatest quarterbacks probably that'll ever wind up playing the game. But again, if you want to beat them, at some point, like, you got to at least be able to get up to their level for certain games. So we'll see that. Ziggy, I wanted to say before, what I do love about Houston, though, and why I think that I still feel very confident in them to win the division, I love their defense. And D'Amico Ryan's done such a good job turning that around. So even if there are some limitations offensively, I think their defense is going to be one of the best in the league. And I don't think anyone else in this division can really touch it.
But it was last year, too.
And they won the division.
Barely.
But didn't they win by 2 games?
Yeah, but it came down. I mean, yes, but the other teams in terms of wins were very close, even though they ended up pulling away with it early.
So the one of the teams that should be competing with them, the Indianapolis Colts, the question has to be, who wins the QB competition between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones? So it's going to be a fun competition because, well, Anthony Richardson's hurt right now, and that sucks. But this feels like the last chance, the last gasp of air in maybe Anthony Richardson's starting career.
The Colts I feel are kind of they kind of want to go and win now, right? Like I like Daniel Jones.
They have
to me,
since they brought in Phillip Rivers.
Like Daniel Jones to me, with the experience and I guess the accuracy and the more of an ability so far to stay on the field. Like I'd give it to Daniel Jones right now. I think he's more of a quarterback you can plug in next year for Indianapolis, and he gives them a chance to go to the playoffs more so than they are.
A lot of people think that Daniel Jones, if you had to pick one of these guys to have a Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold type of resurgence, most people are pointing to Daniel Jones joining up with Shane Steichen.
He just took a team to the postseason not long ago.
Well, yeah, that's because he got to throw 350 yards against the Vikings.
I think DJ's accuracy is better. He can stay on the field better.
And he's a good runner too. He's not Richardson on the ground, but he can move.
I think him is the much better fit right now to plug into the Colts offense this year and have them go to the playoffs.
You like it too, Ziggy?
Honestly, I think the most damning thing for the Colts is that once it became clear that Anthony Richardson would be hurt and miss training camp, or at least parts of it, or at least not be 100%, their win total went up. People are more confident in this team winning games of Daniel Jones at quarterback than Anthony Richardson, because Anthony Richardson, he's shown some flashes, but the gigantic regression year 2 freaks me out. His rookie season, there were ups and there were downs. His second year was basically all downs. Mm-hmm. So at this point, the Colts roster, I think, is a much better roster than people give it credit for. I mean, the Colts, they won plenty of games last year, right? They were 8-9 in 2024. They were 9-8 in 2023. This is a team that's gotten close despite, frankly, horrendous quarterback play the last 2 years. Just competency at quarterback, I think, could make this team a real contender. And I think Daniel Jones has a decent chance of giving you that. Like, he didn't live up to the giant contract with the Giants, but he wasn't horrible with the Giants for the most part.
He wasn't good with the Giants.
No. He was somewhere between 20 and 25 among quarterbacks. He could run the ball. He could occasionally throw it. And if you're in an offense that gives him the kinds of plays he's good at, read options, he's basically white Justin Fields.
Look,
isn't he?
I mean, that's funny, yeah.
He's not as good a runner as Fields, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think I'd take Fields still. I think Fields is a little better, but I can see the resemblance.
Daniel Jones has his moments.
But on a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, I would trust DJ to drop back and complete a pass for a first down more so than AR.
Oh, 100%. You just have
Anthony Richardson will throw the ball 30 yards downfield on 3rd and 7.
Yeah, don't look batted down by somebody.
I was looking at I'll never get over the Daniel Jones stat line during the 2023, or was it 2023 or 2022 at this point? I can't even. Oh yeah, wow, geez, it was a while ago now. 2022 when he had his year that got him the big contract. The big contract year, 15 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
See, Jones, he's good at taking advantage of crappy defenses. Like he played the Vikings that one year.
Well, no, I mean, if you look at the 2022 year, the Vikings and Lions had like historically bad passing defenses, and he threw, as you should, for 341 yards, 334 yards, and 301 yards against those defenses. And everyone else he threw for, he didn't have another game over 200 yards. 2 other games barely over 200 yards. So at the time, I didn't think that you could give him the contract. I think you could probably find a video where I say you have to give him the contract, but I didn't actually believe that. So don't believe what I said back then. It's a new poll. I think that Jones is going to wind up being the guy. Richardson, I believe, will have an opportunity, but he'll blow it again. And then Jones will finish out the year. That's my guess. And it's too bad because I've been ruined for AR. All right, the Jaguars. Travis Hunter, his usage on both sides of the ball is going to be a major storyline that people are going to be looking at during training camp. How often are the Jaguars going to do that? We're not going to talk about that, though, because frankly, we have no idea until we see it. And there's no need to go on about that anymore. So what we're going to say is...
We'll talk about something else we have no idea about.
We'll talk about something else that we don't know at all. Will Liam Coen's impact turn around Trevor Lawrence and save his career? Because Trevor Lawrence...
I have no idea.
If players under pressure this season, Trevor Lawrence could be number 1 in the entire NFL. Can you guys think off the top of your head, anyone else who clearly has more pressure on him this year than Trevor Lawrence? What's going on in your brain, Jack, right now?
Well, there's a few guys.
There are a couple guys with pressure, but I'm not sure anyone has more than Lawrence.
Let me see.
I think JJ McCarthy's got a lot.
Yeah, but not in the sense that
Jordan Love.
Honestly, I mean, Brock Purdy, I think, has a lot.
Jordan Love.
Brock Purdy just got a 5-year, but
Trevor Lawrence is also on a mega team.
Caleb Williams.
He's up there. He's certainly up there.
Who else? We talked about before. There's a quarterback
Justin
before.
Herbert.
Herbert. Yeah, but Lawrence has to prove something. You know what I mean? Like, I think that Herbert, everyone agrees, is awesome. I think for the most part with Purdy, everyone agrees that on that team, he is awesome. Well,
Drake May.
I guess there's more to the Purdy side.
Drake May.
When everyone's healthy, Purdy's awesome.
Drake May.
Yeah, Drake May has something to prove. Caleb Williams has something to prove, but I like Lawrence is right there. Like Lawrence needs a good season, especially now that he has Hunter. He has Brian Thomas Jr. Liam Coen had an electric offense with Tampa Bay last year. He's going to be the play caller. This feels like, all right, now's the time for the Jaguars to take a bit of a leap here. And for certain people, if you don't think the Texans are that good, which is a fair take. Again, I love the defense, but some people are not big believers in Houston as a legitimate contender. The Jaguars have to be in the picture. And last year they weren't. So that needs to change this season under Liam Coen. Do you think, I know that we don't know until it happens, but are you thinking that the Jaguars are a wild card caliber team?
I mean, I think
or division team.
To me, the pieces could be there. Like coming from Tampa Bay and an offense the last couple seasons with Baker Mayfield has looked
gone
great.
for like 4,500 yards.
He's become one of the best quarterbacks in the freaking league these last 2 years. Trevor Lawrence, I believe, is talented enough, similar to Baker Mayfield, where the talent's there, but we haven't really seen it break out yet. I love Thomas. Travis Hunter, a big addition. So there's no reason to say no. Like I'm optimistic. I don't think Houston's a juggernaut. Jacksonville was the favorite from this division as of 2 years ago, and I think they can get back there.
Duval.
I'll just tell you now. I will predict the Jaguars to win this division.
Yeah, he's back. Ziggy's back.
He's back, baby.
If you look at the coaches that Trevor Lawrence has had in Jacksonville, the guys he had Urban Meyer. Whatever happened there? Flip Urban Meyer into interim coach Darrell Bevell. Then you've got Doug Peterson. You get 3 years of slow Doug Peterson, who somehow couldn't win a Super Bowl with that Eagles team. He won one. Nice job. Way to go, dude. You did absolutely nothing else in your career. And then we've got Liam Coen coming in. At this point, I think Trevor Lawrence has also had so many health issues. And despite that coaching, despite how poorly this offense has been run, despite not having a lot of talent, Trevor Lawrence has looked like a solid quarterback. Now you've got Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. You've got a defense that I think will probably be a little bit better than it was last year. It wasn't great last year, but I don't think you're going to get Saxonville, but I think you'll get a solid team. I've been a Trevor Lawrence believer for a very long time. I have continued to insist he's better than the numbers say he is. You're right. He has to prove me correct this year, but he will. So I'm not worried about it.
All right, so we got one believer there in the Jaguars. I'm close. I am actually pretty close to being all aboard the Jaguars train. Maybe for a wild card. I'm still picking the Titans or Texans.
They have pieces. They have names. They're a talented.
No, they have the best weapons in their division, right? Off the top of your head, if you think like Texans have Nico, but that's about it.
Tank Bigsby.
I mean, they have a couple rookies in Houston. The Colts have Pittman, but Titans is Calvin Ridley. But the Jaguars should have one of the best. You're hoping one of the best duos in the league in Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter.
You got a nice duo.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. All right, the Titans. Will Cam Ward be a breakout training camp player? I guess you could also say, does Cam Ward have potential to be anything close to some of these recent rookie sensations like Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud, which that is unfair to ask. But if you're the Titans, you're hoping that you continue to see this emergence of the rookies who it always felt like rookies took 2 or 3 years. And now it's just like you've had a couple dudes come in and top 5 quarterbacks immediately. It's kind of nuts. But I don't know if just briefly taking a look over the Titans, this is another spot where Cam Ward's going to have to elevate that room. Traylon Burks, Tyler Lockett, Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard. Some nice players, who've had good seasons over the course of their careers. But does anyone in that room make you want to turn on the TV right now? Travis Hunter makes you want to turn on the TV. Brian Thomas Jr. makes you want to turn on the TV. Nico Collins as well, even though people might not be as familiar with his name. I don't see that on the Titans roster. So Cam Ward's going to have to be the guy to elevate them. And I'm like, this could be one of those teams we spend a minute on. I anticipate, like a 5 or 6 win season for the Titans.
Do you know Calvin Ridley's 30 years old?
Well, he missed 1 or 2 years, right?
Yeah, he missed a year for this. Like, this guy he's near the end of his career. Tyler Lockett is 32. And if either of those guys are old and miss time, you've got Van Jefferson and Chimere Dike coming in to replace them. Like, we can't even play our game of Titans wide receiver or country singer because these guys are obvious. These guys don't even have country singer names.
Van Jefferson
there's
can pull off
in this room.
Van Jefferson,
you could, but like everyone knows.
I actually still think we still got Colton Dowell there.
James Proche the second.
Bryce Oliver. I mean, that is screams country singer.
Okay, I'll give you that. I will say
Mason Kinsey. I mean, come on, dude. Like, this is I'm telling you.
I apologize.
When the Titans receivers are not at training camp, they're probably going down.
They're touring.
What's the street down there? Broadway. They're probably going down to Broadway.
Josh Weil at tight end.
Yeah, they're down on Broadway playing in pubs. Like that's what's happening with this Titans team. And I don't mean to throw shade at the Titans. I hope they have a good year.
What makes me nervous again is somebody who's been down Broadway Avenue and spent a few nights there. Cam Ward's 23 years old.
Oh, here we go with this bull crap.
I do not believe Nashville's the place for a young rookie quarterback to come in and succeed.
Dude,
I'm serious. Haven't they had a number of high end rookies they've drafted who haven't panned out?
Can't you see the situation? They got a running back here, Julius Chestnut. Can't you see a situation where you walk into?
Just to acknowledge my question.
You walk into what? What? You talk about Cam Ward going out?
No, I said hasn't Tennessee had a number of QBs drafted high who haven't succeeded?
Yeah, but I don't think it's because they're going out on Broadway all night partying.
I think that could play a role. I'm serious.
Well, we went through it, wasn't it? Oh, I forgot to put that out. It was
why do you
Vince
think Aaron
Young.
Rodgers is still good in Green Bay? There's not much to do there.
Nothing to do. Look, I mean, it's one of your theories. Yeah, I guess let's go through the league. Who are the elite quarterbacks? Mahomes in Kansas City. You get some barbecue.
Josh Allen.
You can get messed up in Kansas City. Let me tell you.
Josh Allen
up in Buffalo. Yeah, Baltimore.
Oh yeah, they don't drink alcohol in Buffalo. Yeah,
no, but it's not Broadway on Nashville, or it's bumping 24/7. The stadium,
it's not Vegas.
The stadium is right there.
Not New York City.
The stadium is right there on Broadway Ave.
Who are the other? We got Cincinnati. We got Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
maybe you're onto something here.
Right?
Maybe.
I mean, Vegas sucks.
like Jaden Daniels in Washington. I wouldn't put Washington in the same category as CJ Stroud in Houston. I mean, there are places to go everywhere, but the most fun cities in the NFL are what? Probably New York. Like
Roethlisberger was great.
Tua, Miami. He struggles in big games. What do you think he's doing the night before?
I think there's reason.
You guys are crazy.
Can't you see going into Jason Aldean's bar and there's a poster you could see a poster that says tonight Bryce Oliver, Mason Kinsey, and Julius Chestnut.
I couldn't see Julius Chestnut, but I can see the other.
Julius Chestnut's a hell of a name. I can see
Julius Chestnut. Not as a country singer. The other two, yes.
What's Julius Chestnut?
Julius Chestnut feels like a blues singer.
Yeah, he does. Julius Chestnut. I gotta see this guy. Let me see Julius Chestnut.
This is what we do on
tonight. Is Mason Kinsey at 7 p.m. Central Time.
Julius Chestnut. He definitely dabbles.
I want to get the Titans to take that to comment on our thing.
But they didn't realize. For anyone who doesn't know this, a couple of years ago, we actually did the Titans wide receiver or country singer reel, and Jack was guessing. Colton Dowell is still on the team. Colton Dowell was one of the guys we brought up.
I think I guessed the country singer for him,
and Colton Dowell actually responded to it when we sent it to him. But the Titans were like, hell yeah, brother, or something like that was their comment. And some dude puts right beneath it, you guys realize they're making fun of you.
Which was not really our intention.
I mean, it was a little bit. But no, it wasn't. Yes, we didn't go into that mocking the Titans. We're like, wow, the Titans receiver room has a lot of country singer sounding names. Which maybe if you go through other rosters, it does too, but Otis Reese. I love thinking of these names as singers. Okay, that'll take us out of the AFC South. We'll move to the AFC North.
Speaking of Bo Nix.
Yeah, speaking. Well, no, the AFC North.
That could be a singer. Oh, or the North.
But
Hey, Lamar Jackson.
The Lamar tonight at Jason Aldean's Lamar Jackson.
We got Morgan Wallen and Lamar Jackson today.
The Ravens. Will the Ravens find consistency on both sides of the ball? This was a brilliant question posed to us by Ziggy here, and we tried to stray away from that classic question of will the Ravens, convert on 3rd and 6 against the Chiefs when they have to in the AFC Championship game? Will they catch the ball?
Is their tight end going to drop the ball?
Yeah. Will Zay Flowers fumble at the 1 yard line? Like that. Those are basically to me. Those are the questions the Ravens and Bills have facing them is will they convert in the biggest moments? But part of that problem is because the Ravens, for as electrifying as they can be at times, we've also seen them in certain situations, like in that playoff game against the Bills. All of a sudden Lamar Jackson has a bad game, fumbles a couple times, turns the ball over, and you see a game that they probably should have won turn into a loss. And we've seen it in the past a lot. You all right? Bless you. We've seen a few times now with Baltimore where they get to the playoffs and what was an electrifying offense all year, or what was a stout defense, just doesn't play up to their standard. So Ziggy's begging for this. I mean, he's asking. So go ahead, Ziggy.
I mean, I'm not sure I'm begging for this.
I thought you were giving me the like.
Oh no, my arm's just a little shaky right now.
Okay.
You win some, you lose some.
From what?
The thing about this Ravens team, they've got a reputation for having a great offense and a great defense, and that's true. But it just feels like these units are never great at the same time. The Ravens offense was off to an incredible start last year. The defense really struggled. When the defense plays great in playoff games, I mean, they've gotten it done against the Chiefs and against the Bills before on defense, but then Lamar Jackson has some of the worst games of his career. This is a team, despite being well coached and despite having a lot of talent, they just need to be consistent. And honestly, given that we've had so many opportunities for him to do so and it hasn't come, I feel much better about the Bills being able to find it or the Chiefs being able to find it when it counts than the Ravens.
I think the Ravens are partially cursed. Like they remind me of
we believe in curses on the show, so tell us more.
To what degree?
They remind me kind of like the Mets.
No.
Yes. Like recent.
No.
Like the recent Mets. Like a very good team will be in the playoffs, so they're not going to win. Like
but I don't know if a curse, like to get into the word, when you use the word they're cursed, that to me it's
the
like
Ravens have had a team who could win a Super Bowl for a long time.
But the Mets are cursed.
I think the Ravens are partially
the Ravens won a Super Bowl 12 years ago.
Oh, so I guess the Ravens are like the Yankees then.
Sure, more like that could be. I think might be better. Yeah, the Ravens are right there all the time.
Very high expectations. But, they will choke against good teams in the playoffs.
Well, I don't know if the Yankees choke. I mean, the Dodgers. No, it actually, you know what? This actually makes sense. The Dodgers are just absolutely loaded. The Chiefs are the best quarterback other than Brady, all time.
I think that, I'm serious.
They just come up a little bit short.
I also think Lamar is not built for the playoffs. I think he's just a bit softer than most.
Yeah, the Steelers fan talk about the Ravens can get a little intense. But no, I see what you're saying in that they do fall into that category of, and this is what we were saying off the top.
They're better than the Mets. The Mets are like, who'd be the Mets?
The Mets are more of like the Vikings-ish a little bit.
Yeah. Like
the Vikings kind of have some Mets vibes to
them. Yeah, that's similar.
Which, that really sucks saying that. but I guess that could be true to a degree. The Cincinnati Bengals, the big problem, as everyone knows, was the defense. And it's actually kind of blown me away how little they've done. To address it.
They said it was 100% Lou Amaruno's problem.
Like, the big moves for them this offseason, and I think they were good moves, just extending Jamar Chase and re-signing T. Higgins on that deal. T might have to prove it a little bit more to me. I like T. Higgins, but we'll see how if the defense doesn't perform well this season, and T. Higgins has a little bit of a down year, that's going to become a major storyline. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing in a situation here right now where their number one draft pick, Shamar Stewart, we don't even know if he's going to be on the team at this point.
But we do.
We should. But like that is the fact, very, very fact that that's a question is ridiculous. Trey Hendrickson still hasn't gotten his extension. He's getting pissed off more by the moment. And they brought in Al Golden, the Notre Dame defensive coordinator, who, for any Bengals fan who's listening or any AFC North fan who's kind of curious about this, Al Golden was amazing with Notre Dame last season. Now, the NFL is a different story, as Jack was mentioning a bit earlier in the show. But what Al Golden did last year, if you were unaware, Notre Dame's defensive line, actually their entire defense, they had like 5 or 6 major injuries last season. Like, all-American caliber players. Benjamin Morrison could have been a first-round pick. Riley Mills was a draft pick who went down. Like, so much. Jordan Botelho, guy Ziggy and I were in the same dorm as, was a starting Viper. Like, we had a ton of dudes go down, and the performance that they had to make the national championship, it was pretty heroic. You had freshmen stepping in at cornerback. Like, it was he did such a great job. Might have been the best coordinator in the country last season. Like, that's how good it was. So you're getting a guy who, for at least the college level, knows what he's doing. Like, it was a truly spectacular performance. And I think that like, if you have a reason to believe, that's one for Al Golden.
I mean, in this Bengals defense, too, just has to be kind of average. I've gone back and forth on how I've thought about the re-signing of T. Higgins. I believe that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase is enough for the offense. And then I would think I would have rather spent some money on defense instead of re-signing T. Higgins.
Yeah, but like, what's Milton Williams going to do for you on defense, really?
Always better than
you can't just get great players on defense for his price.
But I don't think that the Bengals don't need a superstar defense, just a better defense. Like, the Bengals defense can be average. And with Burrow and Jamar Chase, I think that's good enough.
Yeah, but again, last year it was not average. Like that's what I'm
saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So it was horrible.
Yeah, you need to find a way to get back up. But we're looking at the team here, and maybe I'm wrong. Were there more additions to the Bengals than I'm realizing here? Because I just don't see too many. I mean, they brought in TJ Slayton.
Their approach this offseason was to say it was basically all Lou on Maruno's fault. They're running back more or less the same defense. I don't believe, I know they added Shamar Stewart in free agency. I don't believe they added, besides Oren Burks, a single defensive player.
Like, don't you
I guess Joe Gales Harris came in from the Jaguars. Slayton came in from the Packers, but nobody who's going to play real snaps for them, hopefully.
Don't you think the money is better spent on slightly better defenders than getting T. Higgins back?
No.
T is really valuable, and you're right. You're not going to pay. You don't want to pay Milton Williams what the Patriots paid him.
With T. Higgins, you're getting an elite player. I really think he's elite, or at least very close. For his money, you can get 2 slightly below average defensive players or 1 average defensive player in free agency.
That's Bengals, just not worth it. Other thing to keep in mind about the Bengals is if they had made the playoffs last year, they would have been a problem. Didn't they end the season?
They're like the 8 seed.
Yeah, they ended the year on a 5-game winning streak. Now, that was against Dallas, Tennessee, the Browns, the Broncos, and the Steelers. But they still ended the year on a 5-game winning streak. And allowed 20 points or fewer in 3 of them. So, the Bengals very easily could have been a playoff team. Their 3 losses before the winning streak were a 6-point loss to the Steelers, a 7-point loss to the Chargers, and a 1-point loss to the Ravens. So, like, they were right there all year long. They just gave up a ton of points. So
we scored 44 points on the Bengals last year in a game.
But again, it's a real you're hoping that they just have that turnaround with a lot of the same dudes. It's a bit of a risky play, but I think it will actually be fine. Like, I'd be shocked if they're not a playoff team. The Browns, the winner of the Cleveland. All right, let's answer this question. Who's going to win the Browns quarterback room?
Kenny Pickett.
Who do you think, Ziggy?
I think it's going to be Shedeur.
You can get Shedeur at plus 900.
I thought that all the reports coming out were that Shedeur is like completely fading out of the picture for the starting job.
He's plus 900. Flacco's the favorite, minus 105.
We'll see in training camp, but I think the Browns are going to put a rookie out there.
I think Flacco starts week 1, and by like week 4 or 5, you have Gabriel or Shedeur.
I think Pickett is right now the
betting favorite,
the best quarterback on the roster.
Flacco's the favorite, though, right?
Yes, Flacco's the favorite.
I think Flacco will start the year, but yeah, it has to be one of the rookies. I mean,
this opening for the Browns is unbelievably hard.
It's brutal.
Their first 6 weeks: host Cincinnati, at Baltimore, host Green Bay, at Detroit, Minnesota, and London, at Pittsburgh.
That's 0-6.
Yeah, I guess you'd rather throw out like some old veteran and just get murdered, right? Not your
yeah,
rookie.
Fair enough.
You throw out Flacco to the dogs for one last time.
Yeah. And then start your rookies later. It's going to be Flacco. It'll be Flacco or Pickett.
Yeah, I think like Stefanski calls in Flacco and he's like, Joe, You know what's going on here, right? Joe's like, I'm just going to get fucking destroyed.
One more time.
He's like, you give him Aiden Hutchinson, give him Jonathan Grenard, Van Ginkel. He got TJ Watt.
He won't make it to Van Ginkel. He won't make it to TJ Watt.
I don't think you start any one of those rookies anytime.
Joe's probably looking at the schedule going like, oh my God, like, can I retire right now? It's like, nah, Joe, you got to do this.
I also think Pickett is average enough where he's your best option.
Joe should retire. Like, what's the motivation for Joe Flacco right now?
Money.
Just get killed.
He likes playing football.
I know he likes playing football, but like, do you like it that much?
It's legit the love of the game. That's what it has to
But
be.
Joe Flacco might love the game more than anyone ever.
I mean,
maybe
he
does.
paid $4 million.
Sure, but Joe Flacco's not
quarterback of the Browns for $4 million.
Yeah, but Joe Flacco's not like scraping by for cash. If like 40-year-old Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco being thrown out here
just to get housed,
murdered by the Bengals, Lions, Vikings, Ravens, Steelers. Like this is.
I mean, you can't.
This is an unprecedented love of football.
I don't think that you can have your rookie start that soon, though.
No, you can. That's why you need to have the sacrificial goal.
Yeah.
Unless you hate. I mean, it's the Browns. They can do whatever they want.
True. I'd go Pickett. That's who I would start. I think Kenny can actually win you a couple games. Flacco probably can't.
Unless we're underrating the Browns. Let's see.
All right, enough
No, we're
talk.
not. We don't need to spend time on this, Paul. We are not underrating.
This
I just want one quick look through of the depth chart and say, maybe am I missing something? Like what I'm trying to find what Flacco sees.
They have Jerry Jeudy and.
Oh, I can tell you what Joe Flacco saw.
I like
played
Quinchon.
well with them before, and they're paying me $4 million to do something I love.
Yeah, that's fair.
He knows the team. He knows the system, right? He doesn't like he knows the Stefanski playbook. Like, I think it makes sense for him to return there. You get to be a mentor to the young guys.
All right,
honestly, if you just throw the ball out all the time, like you'll be better than Deshaun Watson was.
Yeah, no, I
their best chance to somehow go like 2-4 instead of 0-6 is Kenny Pickett. 100%.
What if Flacco just goes on the hero's journey?
I hope he does.
5-1.
I hope he does.
Okay, the last team here, the Steelers. Are the Steelers capitalizing on the Aaron Rodgers window?
Yeah, we're good.
And what we mean by that is you're really looking at this 1 year, as Rodgers has said, this is probably his last season playing. And the difficult thing when you look at the Steelers situation is I personally just don't think there's enough offensively. Jonnu Smith was a big addition. They needed another receiving threat because the George Pickens situation, we have to acknowledge, while we can all sit back here and say, man, it would have been fun to see DK with George Pickens and Rodgers. Pickens was gone. Whatever the situation was, the Steelers not wanting him wanting to leave, that relationship was completely tarnished. He was not coming back. So yes, it would have been ideal to have him in Pittsburgh, but that was just never a realistic possibility this offseason. So given where they're at, you go and get Jonnu, Jalen Ramsey, you lose Minkah Fitzpatrick, but then you also have the TJ Watt situation. That'll get resolved. Do you think at this point in time, the Steelers, like, how all in should they be on this one season with Rodgers?
I think they should have aspirations to win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they're good enough, though. That running back from Iowa is amazing who they drafted.
What's the name?
Caleb Johnson.
Yeah.
You got a 4-time MVP coming in to play quarterback. DK's a baller. Now we got a good secondary.
So Jack is completely off of blind faith here, if you can't tell.
No, we got a good secondary now, JPJ and Jalen Ramsey. The secondary has been a problem for a while. Now it's good.
Do you believe in the DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, Robert Woods, Pat Freiermuth receiving group?
With Jonnu Smith, yes.
Yeah.
And Caleb Johnson in the backfield and Aaron Rodgers, yes.
Okay. No, I mean,
like our secondary has been our killer, and now we have a secondary.
What do you think, Ziggy, as a more neutral party here?
The thing about, I like what the Steelers are doing this offseason in the sense that they're adding players on defense, which I think is useful. They're adding a reliable target in Jonnu. And while I'm sort of confused, I was confused by what they were doing and thought trading Pickens didn't make any sense. But I think Jack's right. If you're the Steelers and you want to go in on Aaron Rodgers, your goal needs to be to win the Super Bowl. And at a certain point, you can have all the talent you want. Unless Aaron Rodgers plays great football and elevates this team, you're not winning a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh. If he's like a slightly better version of Russell Wilson, this team at best is losing in the first round again.
Well, that's the question, Jack.
So I think if you're the Steelers, like that means you shouldn't be going crazy to stock the offense full of talent. You should be saying DK, Calvin Austin, and Robert Woods, Pat Freiermuth, their offensive line. That's good enough if Aaron Rodgers plays good football. He can turn that into a good offense. So why should we risk blowing up the locker room, which has been the biggest problem for Rodgers-led teams for years, by keeping our guy around who we know is going to run his mouth and just have a decent room? Let Aaron Rodgers do what he does best.
I mean, a lot of the criticism in recent years, and for obvious and fine reasons, has been the Steelers' offense. But the games that we've gotten murked in the playoffs by Buffalo, by Baltimore, by Kansas City, we couldn't stop an 8th grade team. And that's just a fact. We were throwing out no-name cornerbacks and they were getting cooked. I mean, now it's a somewhat competitive secondary.
Remember when you signed Patrick Peterson? I was like, and we were both like, it's not.
And here's the number one corner.
Yeah, that was right after the year where I was watching him get flamed on the Vikings.
I actually think the defense and offense are both okay enough for something could happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I think they had the chance to have a very fun season. But my guess is that they. What was the word that I said last week that I made up?
You're train railed.
I still think it's likely the Steelers get train railed in the first round. But Ziggy, you're right. If this is the attempt at the competitive rebuild that the Vikings did, and if you want to have this little window become an actual championship run, it requires an Aaron Rodgers season.
Can you train rail me?
It'll require an Aaron Rodgers season where he's playing at a top 10 level. And so you get top 10 level Rodgers, and he doesn't have to be MVP Rodgers, but you get a top 10 quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and the Steelers are a legit threat.
Who's a better train railer, Midwest Mountain Man or?
Oh, jeez. All right, we'll end here with we'll end here with the AFC West. The Broncos. Jack was dying to get to the Broncos before, if you couldn't tell.
Oh yes.
Will Bo Nix soar or slump in his sophomore year? And we mentioned this maybe 2 weeks ago now on the show. I don't know if I actually wouldn't like to believe in the Broncos because Sean Payton, it's not my guy. But the defense is loaded. The defense is great. And Bo Nix, the more you dive into Bo's numbers, there's really no reason to not be a fan of the Broncos. I have to admit that. I think I just have a bias against them because I don't like Sean Payton. But Bo was good last year. 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Towards the end of the year, was playing really good football. Of course, they got train railed by the Bills 31-7 in the wild card round. But to me, when I run through the Broncos schedule in my mind, I just see that being an 8-win team. So my vision is that Bo Nix. This is the worst take you have in sports media. I think he has a very similar season to last year.
I was going to say the same thing.
No, I don't think he will soar. I think if I had to pick one, I'd say slump. If I had forced to pick one, I think he's more likely to slump. But I don't think he had a good enough year last year to really say slump.
I'd lean soar.
I mean, I guess he did. You're looking at these numbers. He had 4 touchdowns, no picks against the he ended the year pretty strong. I think he slumps. I think he's more like he slumps.
I'd probably lean soar. I mean, his second year under Sean Payton, a little more comfortable. Showed he's ready to be a pro. I think he did a lot of good things last year. I don't see why it can't continue. I'd say soar. I'm a Bo Nix guy.
The thing about Bo Nix, though, if we're talking about soaring versus slumping, at this point, the standard is beating good teams. And if you look at Bo Nix's performance against good teams last year, lose 41-10 at the Ravens, 16-14 loss at the Chiefs, nice overtime loss against the Bengals, loss versus the Chargers, loss blowout in Buffalo. Against mediocre teams last year, Bo Nix put up great numbers, had a great year. Against some of the better teams in the NFL, he had some of his worst games of the season. I'll exclude the Chiefs game there. I actually think he played pretty well in that Chiefs loss, but the Ravens game, the Bills game, Bo Nix has got to show that he can get it done against great competition, and there were some flashes of that. But that would be my worry about him. I think he will do it, but the standards are high, right? It's not going to be enough for Bo Nix to have a mediocre, decent season. He's going to have to do more.
There are so many quarterbacks.
I was just thinking that.
And so many teams who get those chances to play against the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens, CJ Strouds of the world, and now Bo Nix and Tua. And none of these guys could ever seem to beat them.
No.
But the only ones who beat them are each other.
Or you have just a loaded team like the Eagles or the Lions, where like
someone who as a team is loaded.
Yes.
And you still need a very good quarterback. Jared Goff and Jalen Hurts are not slouches.
Yeah. And I was trying to think off the top of my head here, how many guys right now can go up against the big four quarterbacks week in and week out. And you was like, yeah, they could win like half those games, or they can win 4 out of those 10 games. I just don't think the Broncos are there. And I don't think Bo Nix, we don't like being pessimistic on this show, but I just don't think Bo Nix will, especially with this iteration of the Broncos offense.
Bo Nix,
I don't think that I'm not seeing like a huge year with Sutton, Mims, and Devon. Was it Vel?
When you do bring up Soar,
don't poop on my boy Devon Vel.
Yeah, come on, he's a Utah Ute.
I don't.
He was Cam Rising's boy.
I've no beef with any of these guys.
It sure sounds like you have beef with Devon Vel just because he was 26 in his rookie season.
I have beef with Sean Payton. That's right.
Utah's my favorite college football
team. The Broncos will be a tough out for anyone this year. And if you're playing late in the year, you're playing in Denver, that is a game that you very well might lose. I just can't see a world like exactly what I thought was going to happen to the Broncos happened when they went to Buffalo.
What were they last year? 9-8.
Yeah.
Like when you talk soar, I guess that seems kind of impossible.
Can Bo Nix have a season that was closer to like what Jaden Daniels did his rookie year or CJ Stroud's rookie year? Like that's a soaring season.
I don't know if I see the Broncos more than 10 wins this year. Like it should be the same type of thing.
No, Broncos fans think that their ceiling is 12 wins, and I think that's.
Again, I don't care about regular season wins. I care. Do you have a chance of winning the division? Can you beat the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens?
Winning 12 games has a chance. Oh, look. Winning 12 games has a chance to win the division.
Regular season means nothing. That's the Lamar Jackson stinks. I agree with you.
But it is pretty good if you're the Broncos that it already feels like you need to do things in the playoffs, which is ahead of schedule for a year or two.
Oh, way ahead. Yes, way ahead of schedule from where they were supposed to be.
I'm going to say soar. I think he's good.
It's so unfair. I just can't get that. I need to go back and watch more Bo Nix because in my mind, I'm just seeing that Jets game where he was throwing the ball into the dirt. And it was it was a rainy day. I get that was unfair. But to me, when I turned on Bo Nix most of the times, sue me. I wasn't turning on Broncos Colts on December 15th.
I called the Broncos.
There were a few games when they won 38-6 against the Falcons. I wasn't turning that game on. So
I called the Broncos early.
To be fair, maybe I'm not doing my proper job. Well, I'm not a Broncos analyst, so yeah, I'm not. I have no desire to watch that. The games I'm watching are when they lose 31-7 to the Bills. So that's where Ziggy's point comes in. Can you beat the good teams? If Bo Nix comes out next season, what's the Broncos? Who do they open with?
This is a long time on the Broncos.
It is.
They're one of the most exciting teams next.
Oh, they certainly are. But this is not I'm not gonna be watching.
I mean, they open with a bunch of winnable games, right? Opener host the Titans, at the Colts, at the Chargers, host the Broncos,
host the Bengals,
excuse me,
and then at the Eagles.
At the Broncos, you've got the Jets, Giants, Cowboys.
At the Eagles, this game where bonus was in there just gets murdered.
Yeah, that to me is a game. If they're close in that game, I'm gonna go.
30 to 10.
You got my attention a little bit.
Yeah.
This is week 3 when they play the Chargers is going to be a fun one.
And because hosting the Bengals too.
Yeah, they host the Bengals, but that's a night game. But hosting the Chargers is going to be fun and we'll just go right into the Chargers as well. Will the Chargers charge up their offense here? Jack's question was, will the Chargers have one home game with more home fans than opposing fans?
I actually don't think so. I mean, every single home game I watch in LA, at least last year, the opposing fans took over.
But we mentioned Justin Herbert's one of those guys that needs to be able to beat the best quarterbacks, and he's come close a few times. But he does have pressure this season in year 2 with Harbaugh. Broncos at Chargers week 3 could be telling for the future of the season with the division, because both those teams have an expectation of, okay, can one of them challenge Kansas City? And getting a win early on in the year, that's a prove it game to me. Who is the number 2 right now? Who's the top challenger? So I will actually be watching that. So we'll know by week 5. I'll know. I'll form an opinion.
Is that game in LA?
I'm going to put in my account, and that's in LA.
I bet you it's more Broncos fans that game.
Set a reminder for October 6th to form opinion on Bo Nix.
I bet you that's more Broncos fans in that stadium that day.
Okay. The Chargers, we'll do 2 seconds here because these were supposed to be quick segments, and naturally we ran a little long. Ziggy, just answer me in like 10 seconds here. Do you believe in the Chargers have sparked up this offense enough, adding Amari and Hampton? They bring back Mike Williams. Do you believe that this offense with the 100th best player in the league, Lad McConkey, is going to be good enough to perhaps take down the Chiefs' throne?
Yes, and you give me 20 seconds asking that question to give me 10 seconds to answer it. If Justin Herbert healthy, yes, lots of talent. If Justin Herbert unhealthy, no.
Do you agree, Jack? Concur?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to add.
Oh, but Paul gets to sit here and just go, oh, I need to think for a second, guys. Let me think about it.
That's really,
I'm trying to think if I liked your response.
That's another 10 minutes on the Chargers now coming up.
Yeah, Amari and Hampton and Najee. Oh, Najee Harris. I forgot they added Najee.
He stinks.
But he's not bad.
They call it the Paul Farrington.
He's not bad in a 1-2 punch with Amari and Hampton.
He stinks.
He's fine to have his like.
No, he's terrible.
One of the punches.
He's bad.
Okay. Wait, doesn't he ran for 1,000 yards every year of his career?
There's no way. That can't be true.
I'm pretty sure his career is he's gone for
Najee Harris has been a solid running
1,200, 1,034, 1,035, 1,043.
and 28 touchdowns over those seasons too.
Maybe he like teleported somewhere on the field. I didn't see him like that. But
I mean, he's not Saquon Barkley.
4 yards a carry over his career. He's not that bad a player.
I didn't know that.
The Raiders. What is? I actually do like this question here. The Raiders are such a weird team where, given the structure of their current roster and the offseason moves they made, but what does success actually look like for the Raiders this year?
Finish third in the AFC West.
That's a successful.
Yes.
Is that a successful? If you're a Raiders fan,
yeah, don't lose your division.
What?
Don't lose your division.
Don't lose the division.
No, don't come in last place.
In your mind, if you're a Raiders fan, what would make you lean back and go like, all right, Pete, nice job.
Come in third place.
That to me, no.
You have to make the playoffs. You just traded for Geno Smith. And this is a team that weirdly has at least some good players on both sides of the ball. I mean, Brock Bowers obviously is incredible. Ashton Genty, there's high expectations. Max Crosby is at worst the third best edge rusher in the NFL. I mean, I sort of worry that your two starting corners are Darian Porter and Eric Stokes, but I do like Jeremy Chin in the secondary there. But like, there's enough decent players on this team. And this is a team that, at least historically, has been able to get close to the wild card spot. Now that you've got the best quarterback you've had since Derek Carr left, you have to make the playoffs this year. Otherwise, it's a failure. Go 12 personnel, bring out Bowers and Mayer to make up for the fact that Jacoby Myers is far and away your best wide receiver, and hope for the best.
Honestly, their core really isn't that bad. With like Geno and Michael Mayer and Genty and like I feel like it's similar to Miami, where Geno Smith is like average enough where they will win some games.
Mm-hmm. Like, they're the polar opposite of the Packers. They have basically no good players except a couple superstars.
Yeah, but I feel like that coupled with an average quarterback, like you're not going to be in the total cellar.
I'll even extend a little bit beyond
500, 8 and 9.
Yeah, but I'll extend one game beyond what Ziggy said. Ziggy said playoffs. I'll say that going into week 18, they're competing for a playoff spot. I'll give them 1 week before that. Because I'm just looking back. Geez, the Raiders have won 4 games, 8 games, 6 games past 3 years. Then they had the 10-win season, 2021, where they lost to the Bengals.
Well, if you're going into week 18 competing for a playoff spot, you host the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are probably resting their starters.
No,
so you're going to the playoffs.
I think if you're a Raider fan, given the current construction of this roster, you want to be in that picture. Like when they show the graphic on week 17,
you're in the hunt.
You want to see the in the hunt, or you're the wild card. Yeah. Ziggy, are you asking to speak again?
No, we're good.
All right, we'll wrap up here. Last one. Did the Chiefs do enough to fortify their offensive line? The very beginning of the show. What a full circle moment. I mean, that's how you do these shows,
it ends
right?
With the Chiefs.
Right, you end with the Chiefs. We started the show and we said, what's the problem for the Chiefs? They lose these Super Bowls when you have the Bucs going crazy on their offensive line. You had the Eagles in Patrick Mahomes' face. He throws the 2 interceptions that end the game. And then this offseason, obviously, losing Joe Thuney was not good. Now, at the same time, they're bringing in some pretty big names back in the receiving room. Do you think that the weapons they're adding back will counteract some of the losses on the offensive line?
I will say, I think the Jalen Moore contract was the single strangest signing this offseason. giving Jalen Moore like borderline starter money for a guy who started, I think, 5 or 6 games in his career is just baffling. I don't totally know what the Chiefs are thinking there. At a certain point, the Chiefs' offensive line, it was terrible in the Eagles game. But we've seen it where the Chiefs' offensive line has had pretty good seasons, and then eventually things add up and it just doesn't go well in the Super Bowl. If Mahomes has quick options to throw to, at the end of the day, this is still Patrick Mahomes. I know people, it's getting edgy to put him no longer your number 1 QB. Maybe he's 2, maybe he's 3, maybe he's 4. I don't care. This is Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the National Football League by a good margin. This guy will be fine. Now, how will they look in the playoffs? It's hard to know. Playoffs are single games. Things are up and down. But you've got Creed Humphrey. You've got real weapons coming in, guys who were on track to have breakout seasons last year. I'm not worried about the Chiefs' offense, and I'm tired of talking about the fact that they might.
We also do have to acknowledge, I missed this a second ago. I apologize. The Josh Simmons draft pick in the first round, who is a monster for Ohio State before getting hurt.
Will he be able to play this year?
Maybe later in the season.
Also, how many teams are really like the Eagles?
When did Simmons go down?
He tore his patellar tendon. Shoot, it was in that Oregon game, wasn't it? Yes. So that was in October, so he might be healthy, but asking a rookie coming off a like big knee injury to start immediately might be a big ask.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And how many teams are like the Eagles up front? There's not many.
No, but that's sort of what the Chiefs are in this business now. Of it's been a while for Mahomes where he's coasting. Like they just coast through the regular season. I mean, what was their record last year? Didn't they?
They lost 3 games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like they lost 3 games. Mahomes was so most of the season.
I thought they were like 10-7 last year.
Well, that's because they had so many games where it was like the Falcons game they barely won right at the end.
Raiders, right?
The Raiders, the Bengals. They had the interference play. Week 1 against the Ravens, the toe out of bounds. Like they had so many games where I mean, some of them were luck. Some of them, of course, like you have to give them credit. Like they won all those games and they've been doing it for a long time. So at some point you can't just say, oh, they get lucky.
But, I mean, there does come a point though where, I mean, if they were to play Philly again, it's hard to say, oh, well, we have Mahomes. Because I mean,
you can't. And that's what we did with the Super Bowl when you were saying,
they killed Mahomes.
Like I can't. After losing, my whole argument with the Chiefs was until they lose, I'm just going to keep picking them. And now they lost, so they shouldn't be at the top of anyone's power rankings next year. Like you could argue it. What?
Nothing.
What?
We don't want to get into this.
We
got to wrap the show.
Okay, all right, we'll wrap the show. What? Is that what you were laughing at?
Yeah, I'm laughing at your approach to power rankings.
Oh, well, yeah. We got in arguments about that, but when the Chiefs were 9-0 last year, no one was arguing it.
Yeah, I was.
I had him.
Sorry. No one sensible. No one sensible was arguing it.
Me and Ziggy knew the whole way.
Oh yeah, Ziggy put in the Bengals and you put in the Steelers.
No, I'm saying solely the Chiefs. We're Chiefs experts, me and Ziggy.
Yeah,
and yeah, you were Chiefs. So just because the Chiefs lost 1 game to the Eagles, you guys can look back on the whole year and be like, "Yep, we were right.
We were correct that they were not number 1.
They were not number 1."
All right, we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up there. Obviously, we're really bad at time management, or I'm really bad at time management. So hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. Just kind of jump around the AFC. Yeah, this is one of 2 episodes where we're going to do this. So if you enjoyed it, part 2 is coming with the NFC teams on Thursday. See you soon.